Once installed the IEEDO app on your phone, the first thing you see as soon as you launch it is a screen in which you can select your mother language. You can scroll to access all the language and select your ones. Let's say that your mother language is Arabic. The next question is, where are you? So the project is developed in 5 European countries, so you should choose the one you are living in. Let's say we are in England, the UK. So from now on, we have a section of introduction to the game in which you have just to follow the instruction on the screen. So there's a welcome screen, there's a tutorial explaining that you can always access the content on screen in your mother language. So now we said we are in the UK, so we have everything on screen is in English, but if we want, I can press and hold the top right corner button, the one for the instant translation, and we get all the text translated in Arabic. As soon as I release the button, everything gets back to English. We really want to have the local language, in this case English, as the main for the language for the app because we believe it helps the integration of the refugees by practicing with the local language. As soon as you have learned this feature, you progress pressing the OK button. Now, the game is designed to be used uh, together with your coach, the person who has been assigned to help you with help the refugees with the integration. So this video is addressing the coach, so the refugee will be with you during the session, and the first time the refugee will install the app, which will be with you, coach. So in the end, we should enable with this button on top left, we enable the start of a session with the coach. Again, I can always change language, but in this case, I want to start the session. Okay, the first time you start a session with the coach, you have to the refugee is asked to answer a questionnaire. The idea is to collect information about the status, the situation, and presenting also the 6 categories in which the game addresses this app addresses in the as a categories and areas in which we help the integration of the refugee in the host country. So let's discover the categories one by one. Category number 1 is local participation and culture. We have a short description of the category and then you can go on. For each one of the category, we do again, you can always translate it in Arabic. And for each one of the category, we have a set of questions. Do you access local services? Let's say yes. Can you understand the description of the event in the local language? Let's say yes. Have you visited main local touristic? Not much, and so on. So I'm going to answer quickly some of this question. The refugee will ask uh, precisely each one of them, and then changes color, and we have a new category because each category has a color assigned. So we have seen blue is for local participation. Now it's community engagement. It is purple. Okay, cool. We have all about social life and engagement in the local community, and we have a new set of questions. Do you have friends? Do friends and neighbors turn to you for support? Let's say not much. Do you feel confident meeting new people? Yes, and so on. I don't go to all the detail. I just want to introduce all the questions, all the categories. Sorry, the education and training. It's red, so we have all the set of question again for the education and training. I'm going to answer quickly. Employment, orange, and then we do have admin and getting around. So it's all about paperwork, moving around your city and understanding a bit how the things works around you. And then finally, well-being, everything related to physical and emotional health. So do you have problem affect your day-to-day life? Not much. Uh, Feel often anxious? Maybe yes, and so on. So I'm going to answer quickly just to finalize. As soon as you finalize all the question, you have an overview about your status. is just a high level overview. So you see again local participation and culture, well-being, admin and getting around. These are exactly the same category with the same colors we have seen before. So this is just a first feedback from what is the situation of the refugee during in his or her integration in the new host country. So now that again we have this finger animation, this little animation driving the usage and the user, and the idea is that now we will move to a section that is your to-do list. This section is where we have, together with the refugee, we decide which task he or she is supposed to do before the next section or in the coming days or weeks. So this big button on top is to create a new task, and the tasks are represented by card. So each card again works in one of the six categories. So with its own color, local participation and culture, community engagement, and so on. Let's say we want to do something about well-being. So again, for each one of them, we have a list of type of activity, type of task. So it could be physical activity, could be medical treatment, and so on. Let's say this is a task that we want this refugee or the refugee himself or herself decide he or she want to do or should do. Then let's say physical activity. Maybe I want to go to the gym. So first of all, I enter a title. It's quite short, so I can always correct. On the mobile phone, you will have a keyboard appearing here. For the demo, we don't have the keyboard, but it will just use the normal keyboard as you know, Android or iPhone, and it's fine. And then you are supposed to set a difficulty level as it's perceived by the refugee him or herself. So let's say it's medium. I want to do it by Tuesday next week, and I have to enter a description. I will just put blah 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 for now. And as soon as I finish my task definition, my card is ready. I can create as many cards as I want. I can create a new one. Let's say I want to do something about paperwork. Okay, paperwork. So maybe I have ID card. I don't know if it makes sense, but it just makes something that is readable. Let's say that it's complicated because I need a lot of paperwork, and maybe I give myself 2 weeks to get it done. So okay, as you can see, I can scroll around and I set the date as much as I want. I have to maybe I can set more details here. Now I don't waste time typing too much. And now I have a card. As soon as I have cards, I can scroll around by swiping the screen. I can edit any card. Let's say I made a mistake. I can change the date now. I want to do it by tomorrow. Okay. As you can see, the cards shuffle around just to move. I can add just to have always in order. The first one in front with this little icon on top are the most urgent one, the one that are supposed to be done in the coming days, today, tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. And then after on, you can have as many cards as you want that are all the tasks you are supposed to do in the coming days or weeks. So this is your to-do list. You can take a card and delete it. You want to delete it? No, I don't want now, but I keep it. The other thing you can do with a card is maybe I already have an ID card. I just finished doing an ID card, or maybe let's say let's create a new one. Let's say I want to do it's an education and training, and I want to do self-learning, and I have already installed the IEEDO app. So I want to have the IEEDO app. Okay, it's easy because I have done it. I want to do it today, and it's install it. Okay, that's it. This task, it's done. So once it's, as you can see, they are always ordered by date. And as soon as one task is done, the refugee, no matter if he's in a session or if it is alone, he can complete a task. Set the task as completed by with a button on the bottom right. We will see later on. So with this introduction, we have finished the mandatory step in the tutorial in the introduction for the app. But on the bottom, we see that there are three sections. The main one, the home, is where we have the pillars, where the overview of your status. And in this view is where what you will see at the very beginning of the game every time. On the left, you have your to-do list with the cards. You can swipe around, edit, modify, and so on. And then on the right, you have a list of activities. We are going to see right now. But let's say that for today, we have finished the first session with the refugee. So maybe we can turn it off. We can just click the bottom, the session button on top, leave the session. Yes, we finish it. So now, as you can see, the refugee can still use all the features that we had before, accessing all the three. Uh, he can create a new task, so he can set himself or herself a new task to do, and he can edit it. Let's say I was not able to finish it for today. I can edit it. Let's say I would do it by tomorrow. Then okay, then it's fine. I accept it. And then the card is updated. Or maybe I have already completed it. So then I press the button on the bottom right. I complete it. I done, and it goes into the done task. The done task move in onto the pillars. So I can see how many things I have done on each one of the categories. And in the next session, I will be able to review everything I have done with my coach. As I said, these are mainly the things you can do: edit the cards or update their status. So I can put more information. I want to add some information here. I can change the date, the difficulty, or anything. I can create new cards. I'll delete them. That's fine. I can always select and review the cards I had. So let's say I made a mistake. I send it as completed, but it's not really completed. Then I can send it back. I can select it here. Just I select it by pressing on. If I select each one of the pillar, I see what cards I do have in this pillar. I do have only one right now, so I will see it here. I can send it back. Let's say it was not done, so I send it back. It's completed. The card is fly away and gets back into the cards. So here we are. The card is back here, and what we see is, let's say that let's complete it again because it's completed. I want to get back, and maybe I set also this one is completed because I have done also the ID card. And then let's discover the third section. The third section could be also explained. That's one interesting thing. You see, every time you create a card, you complete a card, and so on, you get points. The overall score is just a sort to make it things more interesting. It's represented here on top with the little flame. And the more points you get, the more activities you will unlock. You already have unlocked two of them. In the beginning, you have only one, but you will unlock more of them. And so the unblock is a mini game. It's a game that works on cognitive skills. It's a simple game in which you have to, level by level, you have to find a way to get this block out of this door. So this is very simple. There's no obstacle. I can just slide it and it goes out. Let's play the next level. I have to move this block out in order to get it. Keep in mind that the blocks are rectangular. I can only slide in the longer direction. So this one cannot be moved horizontally. It can only be moved vertically. So this one now can go out on the right. And so on. The levels get increasing more difficult. That's it. And every time you complete a level, you get new points. Let's leave now. The second activity we'll see now is the diary. The diary is a simple activity. It's a personal diary. The idea is that we encourage refugees to write their own thoughts and feelings every day, so that I can come here and say everything I feel about what I do, and I will not spend time writing real things. And when I'm done, I said done. I have a date on it, so as soon as I've finished, I see how many pages I've done, and every day and tomorrow I will be able to review all the cards, all the pages from what I've written before. Oh, I got new points and I unlocked a new activity. I can also use similar activity to write a letter to a friend. Let's see it right now. So as you can see, it's just working exactly the same way, but in this case, it's dear friend. Let's run something like that. Dear friend, and so on. So the idea is that we really encourage them to write things and maybe also to show them, to share their feelings and things to others. This way, working on their psychosocial well-being. And fast reaction is another type of game. This one is working more on attention and reaction itself. So it's you have to answer yes or no as quickly as you can, and you have a very simple question: is this image the same as the previous one? So as you can see, there's a countdown. You have a blue. Yes, it's the same image. Yes, it's the same image. Yes. No. Yes. Again. Oh, it changed. No. And so on. Oh, I made a mistake. So yes is the same one. No, it's not the one. And so on. You have a time limit. As soon as the time is over, you finish and you get your score. And the higher your score, the more points you get. Oh, I made a mistake. Yes. No. Yes. These are simple activities that work on cognitive skills of the refugee in order for them. Okay, that's my score, 1,450 points. And as you can see, the more points I get here, the more points I get over for the total points for the game. I can play again or I can leave. I need 200 points to unlock the new activity or 300 points. The one which you see available soon are activities that are not really playable at the moment and they are supposed to be developed in the coming weeks or month. So this way, the refugee is supposed to turn on the game, the app every day. We do have a notification coming to your phone reminding you if you didn't turn on the access the app in for more than 30 hours. So then we want them to get back to the app to review their task list, eventually to update them, add a new task. At the beginning, we expect them not to be very autonomous with this creation of the task, but the goal through the program is that they become more and more autonomous in creating their own task, in setting their own objectives, and to update their status. Otherwise, most of this interaction will happen in the sessions with the coach. So let's say that a few days have passed and you have a new session with the refugee. The refugee, as we said, we have played a bit of some games, we have set some cards as completed. So it comes back to you, and during your session, what you will do is just ask him to press again the start the session button here. Okay, do you want the coach is here to help? Do you want to answer a few questions? Okay, this means take again the assessment you took the very first time. Maybe you don't want to take the assessment every time you meet a refugee. Maybe you want to do it only at the beginning or at the end of the program, or maybe at the beginning, in the middle, at the end. But usually, we expect in the middle of the integration phase that we are supposed to run this program with refugees. We expect you coaches to meet with the refugees maybe once every 2 weeks, could be once every week as well. So most likely it will be taking the not taking the assessment questionnaire every single time. Maybe it's every 2 or 4 times, depending on how many weeks. Let's say once a month. It seems reasonable to us. So let's say that we don't want to take the questionnaire. The questionnaire will be exactly as the first one, presenting the categories, asking a question, and updating the pillars. No, we don't want. So now we get to a new status. Let's review together all the cards you have completed. So we get to the cards and we have a special view. We have a view of the card that have been completed, and we have two of them. We have a yellow one, the ID card, and we have the IEEDO app. Okay, so let's say this is the opportunity in which you can ask the refugee about what has been really done, prove in some way that they have really done the task. If they have really done, you can complete it, or you can send it back. Okay, no, this task is not really done. You should send it back. But I say that this is not really done. You need to get back there and get a real ID card. So again, it flies away, get back to your to-do list. Oh yes, the IEEDO app, you have it installed, so it's confirmed. We validated. So it moves to the pile of the validated cards. Automatically, when you don't have any more cards to review, the game gets back to the to-do list. So it's time to plan together the thing you will do in the coming days. So again, we are here and we can still review the task you have, and you can create a new card. Again, we can create a new card. Let's say visit a landmark, and that is fine. Let's difficulty. Let's set a date. Let's write some text here. and we have a new card on our list. Again, we can create as many cards as we want. We can browse through them simply by scrolling or swiping. We can edit them anytime. We can complete them. So if this card has been completed, so let's say we completed. Now it's time to complete this one, and we complete also this one, just to have a couple of them. So here we can see we don't have any more the 6 pillars. We have 2 of them because this one represents the completed cards. This one represents the validated cards. So it's a sort of step by step. You create a card, you complete it, and it flies to the completed status, and then you validate it and you get to the validate status. So with this button on top, you can switch from this view to this view, to the view of the categories. Keep in mind that this button and this view are only available when you are in a session with the coach, because the idea is that you cannot really, the refugee cannot validate himself or herself his own completed task. So that's the mainly flow you will see every time you will go through a session with the coach, a session with the refugee, sorry. Again, we can go back here. We have 2 cards. We can review them. Let's validate it. It flies to the other. You see, now the yellow card is over here. I can always switch forth and back, but if you don't know, I don't want to see this anymore, I can just click outside and I will just move out. You see the translation are available in all the section, including here. I can translate, and I do have all the text translated in the local language, in the refugee language, sorry. I can turn off the session or close the session anytime I want, and I switch back to the home page with the completed cards, completed and validated cards on the pillars. That's mainly it. It's a tool that's supposed to help the refugee um, uh, accessing it day by day, reviewing and updating their to-do list at the same time that they play some simple activities. Oh, here we do have new activities, so we can show them the activities while we talk. Um, to develop some cognitive skills, to train some cognitive skills, and to use some time to write and reflect about their feelings and their situation. This is. We also have another letter, a letter to myself. That the letter we are supposed to be you're supposed to reread after a couple of weeks, so or after a month, so that in which you express what you would like things to happen, or how you feel, and maybe it's interesting to review it after a few days have passed in order to see how things are evolving. These other activities again works on cognitive skills, and it plays with it's a puzzle with a touch of a mathematical puzzle. It's not complex mathematics. You can just scroll up, down, or any direction, and the number will move in direction. But all the numbers. So let's say I scroll. This one goes left. I scroll left again. This 4 will slide. Let's say I scroll up. All the numbers will go up, but then this 4 will collide with this other 4, and they will merge into a bigger number, 8. So when two numbers with two numbers that are the same number collide, they merge into one single number. So if I go right now, I have 4 and 4. I have 2 and 2. I go up now, 2. So they merge into 2 and 4 and 8, and so on. So now I have to move down. I can do that. Okay, now I have 8. The 8 becomes 16. Maybe I do that, and this become a 4, 8, and so on. The idea in this case is really to find a strategy to mix the numbers to make the biggest number, ideally to get to 2048. That is the name of the name of the game itself. Anyway, you can beat your score playing as much as you want. I think with this we have covered all the feature of the game currently in the game. Be sure you can turn off sound effects and notification here. You can reset the profile, but if you reset the profile, you lose every information you need, all the cards, all the progress, and you start from scratch. So be careful not to do it unless you really want it. You can access the help website, and you can check the credits. That's what you have in the feature. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed, and Please let us know what you think, and if you discover any bug or you have any suggestion for improvement, let us know through the channel. Will you'll see on the page. Thank you.